Hi, I'm Becky Brune and welcome to my channel. I am about to reach my 50th straight day on Duolingo. I am studying in preparation for my trip to France, where I will hopefully, finally, do what I've been trying to do since the 1970s, learn to speak French. So how is it going? So far, I am pretty much limited to the present tense. I did learn some other tenses in my year-long adult French class, but Duolingo has not reached that yet, and I really don't want to skip ahead. I remember the general idea of forming tenses, but conjugating a second verb is a lot. And I know, I have done that all my life in English, but it is going to hinder things for me in French. Okay, not everyone speaks French. However, every time I have been in a social situation and my trip has been brought up, and I'm not always the one bringing it up, someone will turn to me and say, oh, and I'm just not ready for an actual conversation in French. Right now, if someone speaks French to me, all I hear is the ocean. I have a free pass to speak French to myself. And it is moving me forward, but I get self-conscious. I know that the other drivers on the freeway aren't looking at me and don't see me and don't care. And my neighbors, if they hear me, they're not paying attention. But that woman in the locker room who looked at me like I was insane and then broke eye contact, she cared. And you know, trying to explain to someone that you're speaking to yourself in a language that you don't know, it just makes it worse. This one is the big one. Because I have been learning French since 1973, there are many words inside me that are just dormant, and Duolingo is waking them up. I am surprised over and over again how much I remember. And it's not just the French I'm remembering. Last week, I suddenly had a memory of a ditto that my French teacher, Mr. Mackay, passed out in class. I didn't just remember it, I remembered it vividly. The color of that ink on the sheet of paper, the paper smelling a little bit like apple cores fresh from the mimeograph machine. I remember his blackboard, which I think was green. I remember being in the study room at my parents' house, cutting pictures of Mont Saint-Michel out of a National Geographic for my French report. Where did that come from? Where had that been? I think that my brain goes to that dusty old file cabinet where the verb devoir is stored, to have to, and it pulls it out and other things are stuck to it and they all come out together. I remembered the Paris hotel where my classmates and I stayed in 1980. Not just where it was, but the cool patio breakfast room and the scratchy sheets and the white blonde boy and the cafe au lait that I fell in love with. It's very, very interesting to me where language is stored in our memory, and I suspect it's similar to where we store smells and music. So that's how it's going. I know it's going to be different when the rubber hits the road and I get there and I actually have to use the French. But when I think of Mr. Mackay's French classroom and me now making this decision to go to France to learn French, and the threads that run through our lives, I'm really glad I reached out for this one. Thanks for being here and see you next time. Bye.